你说的把这些的拿出来我们不找等于说等把忘记我们就把它就忘记了就不归了老汉你这把忘记刚才到路里等上就才我们等你把谁就把它这把接等你这就把现在常见的是南宋等你这个시합 너무 왕도 지었는데 말로 그들이 왕요래지 왕강래들이 왕들 왕이 말이지 대형들이 노력을 많이 봐 같이 버렸으니 왕이야 강래들 당보 산족색으로 왕들이 이핑을 로데 나딩이 바데 동네 섬지도 나딩이 디코니 저 라왕 토고는 인빙을 놓아서 타거면 인빙을 놓으면 나디 고 타야 요 말이에요. 이 인빙을 놓 제답 지나지 나디 고 때서 타는 거를 빼나 대원들이 상속세들 잡았더니 말한 게 들이 누구 복자식 발라 걔는 나가 복자식 발라더니 대방 하더니 파도 라파도 당보 랑파도 니바니 우리 사제 공부 토고 타브레트 우리 사제가 사람들이 다들 이쪽으로 대다고 톡톡고 요래 왕때래
So my Dhamma friends, Tashi Delek, and so many of you have come here today, and today we are receiving an empowerment. And so many of the senior disciples are familiar with the various different kinds of stories of empowerments and histories and so on. But so in general, the difference between the sutras and the tantras is the empowerment. And according to the sutra path, we practice bodhicitta and we engage mainly in the practice of the 6 paramitas. And that is a method to attain enlightenment over the course of several lifetimes. So therefore it is called the longer path. And then for those individuals who are endowed with sharp mental faculties, there is the empowerment according to the tantric system, or the tantric system in general. And the empowerment is a means of like taking one's own freedom, achieving freedom. And now, if we only follow the tantric path, or think we can only follow the tantric path without the sutra path, that actually also doesn't really work with the empowerment, because first and foremost, we must have a foundation of bodhicitta, and that is the first freedom that we must achieve. Because that is the only way to rid ourselves from self-grasping, which is the root of all suffering. So if one really wishes to attain freedom, then one must cultivate altruism, and that's the only method. So without altruism, there is no way one can become liberated from self-grasping. So the stronger your altruistic mind, the more and more you separate from self-grasping. So bodhicitta is also the foundation of the tantric path. And then with that on the basis, then we practice the generation stage, or the visualization of the deity, in order to purify the karmic imprints of the body. And then we recite the deity's mantra to purify the karmic imprints of speech. And when we accomplish that, ideally one can attain enlightenment in the first bardo, or if not, then in the second bardo. But this practice really is an actual method to attain the state of Buddhahood. So through the blessings of the Buddha and the deity and so on, we really have a method here to attain Buddhahood within a single lifetime. So, and for this reason, we are receiving an empowerment.
王量圣能上生有的王就不能 There Malari, but teaching the boy with Jago and Governor Yore. Papa, what told you to say one race? There's this talk, this don't that the hack or don't that carry already, Latini. Randu Lakor to one Nango, oh, Rangu, the same yati, nature to put out, but Mammy, membership are. Carry nature, same nature, Ma, something upon nature. Oh, something chibble, name pruna. The new one got is going to young Bella. They just know, oh, the same yatini, same daddy, the papa on the Tama, the young shilling your own. The moment shilling Jashabo Chang, your there's Hajesh, what it's what Chang, oh, Randu Sakoto, Nango one. The little she about it, and he Tatu. They look Doru Chopa, Tonjo Angel. Tatuk the Dadi the Papusona, Dadi the Sanjok and the Sorjona, the Dagi Nime Hakota, they look Doru Chopa, then Tatuk Saja with Tom, Semen Nimeba, Zok, Mambori, but the same Sivatini, Jachemo, Tomani, the Napata red, saved what the Samachi barred. The judge or Tona, Rawang, Tong Rawang, Richard, Hako, the Rawang Tong. Chibot on the curry, oh, GP local, the Chibo child dogs. Mark to post out the Dodo Chongcha. Tea took the real Chongcha, Chong, Thomas Zog Maple at Dongova. Much of the bottom of the many to worry. But what told you, of said the Cassette, Daddy, Downton, and Dabber, child, basically. Mother days or something over this Zokki or Devayopa, Mother Batomani to buy it. The same as how wounded it was already. They looked all about Tonjo and some of them they looked to Hako already.
And so the empowerment also has three aspects or levels to it. That is the outer, inner, and the secret. And so Milarepa gave a very concise and clear instruction on those three levels. And you can find that in his collection of spiritual songs, which are very important. And so in there, Milarepa said, first, the outer empowerment is when the empowerment vase is placed onto your crown. And then what's the meaning of all that? And that's the inner empowerment. So the inner empowerment, he says, is when you visualize your own body in the form of the deity. So what you learn from that is that you learn that your body and mind can transform. What is unripe can ripen. So how does the mind transform? First, there is this concept of I. We always think of ourselves. And that is transformed if we think about all other sentient beings. And how it is transformed is that then the 5 afflictive emotions transform into the 5 wisdoms. And basically, the more you separate from self-grasping, the more the afflictions transform into wisdom. And then the mind becomes very vast, the same as the Buddha's mind. So the inner empowerment is to visualize your body in the form of the deity. And then the third, the secret or the actual empowerment, the ultimate empowerment, is when you realize the nature of your mind or the single essence, when you get to the essence of the natural state of the mind. That's the actual empowerment. And so ultimately, bodhicitta subdues self-grasping. And then you can understand the non-duality of self and other. And you realize the nature of mind. You realize Mahamudra. That is, you realize that within the mind there is no duality. Even though we have an appearance of many different bodies, there is just this one mind that is very vast, empty, and like the sky. And that is the mind of all beings. It is the same. So, first when you understand this, you see that you have this freedom to experience this vastness of your mind, but also it is up to you, your freedom to be very narrow. So how can we experience the mind as very vast? It is only through the altruistic mind. If we only think about ourselves, then we become smaller and smaller, more and more narrow. And also corresponding to a narrowing, a contraction of the mind, also one's body becomes smaller and smaller until there is no more body. Or for example, like an ant, like a little insect. Actually, that insect's mind is the same as a human mind, but due to self-grasping, this being has become like contracted, very small. And then on the other hand, human beings have a greater extent of love in their hearts, and so therefore also their bodies are larger and they experience somewhat more freedom and happiness. But the seed of all that is within the mind, and the mind is the same. So the secret empowerment or the actual empowerment is when you realize the single essence of the natural state of your mind.
내 왕접 참만 보고는 뒤송다 왕가 송다 찍 하고 송나 내 왕탐신 봐 찍래 나는 라만 보지 가야 그거 되더니 까빠랑 거 사지 장을 봐 패고 생김이 완다 많아서 그렇지네 배나가서 뭐 오마 찍을들이 쳐다나가 잘해서 저요 때는지 돈들이 뮤지들이 찍발이 라라들이 때라고 같이 제발 제거에 사이시바들라 라 찍다 사법상 못 찍발이 그리고 노사진 담라 요나요. 저것들 사지 샘되고 사족 샘이 들이때에 들이사는 아니들이 사카시 장이 오래들 그래. 네. 사장이 들록 소소 석을 사들 접나더니 되게 바책을 사장이 말이 들록 제발에 어디랑 냠슬랑네 내 바깥에 돌아 사장이 좀 같이 들는 바티 책을 했대 접지 받네 봐 사리 시키고 그래 이제 소소를 다 들다 룸이 왕래 이거 소리 제가 사이다 망나요 더니 룸만이 무슨 사지 탐지가 뭐라 마다로 공부더니 사 통화 룸마 달 사지 탐지가 되는 사지 고망 도버제들이 무슨 사지 좀 틀레마디 무슨 사지 탐지를 이제 룸을 도지네 사지 고망 이요래 그래서 탐지다니 나와도 룸마리 대회를 들으니까 룸마에서 자치를 들이 동태리 그거 뭐를 염치 모르고 뭐를 도저 남자마 너도 찍 말이야 로만 사야만 뭐 생긴 당장냐 봐 요리 싶었더라 대다와 하고를 들이 다다 로마데 대다 혹시 당신 양슬이 되어 조치 요리
And so even though we have hundreds of different empowerments, their inner meaning is the same. And so if all the empowerments are the same, you might wonder why then do we need so many different deities? So actually there have been infinite aeons and infinite Buddhas have appeared to suit the needs and mental capacities of sentient beings. For example, it is like you have one like vessel of milk, and with that one milk you can produce all kinds of different cheese, different kinds of cheeses. And so, although there is a great variety of different deities, they all are wisdom beings, and as wisdom beings, they all have a single essential nature. So even 100,000 deities have one essence. They appear in different forms with different colors and implements and ornaments, but most important is their mind, and that is bodhicitta, and that is the same in all of them. So for some people, call certain deities like better or more powerful than others. But actually the deities are all the same. There is no deity that's more powerful. But what makes a certain deity seem to be more powerful is the level of practice. So if one practices a certain deity intensely, then the power of that deity is also greater. But it doesn't have to do with the deity, it has to do with how much one practices it. And then the power is greater. So today we are receiving a Tara empowerment. And so even though there's a lot of different deities, Tara is said to be actually the first deity that has ever become known in the past among the many Buddhas of the 3 times. And many Buddhas have attained enlightenment, and she was the mother who appeared to support the enlightened activities of all those Buddhas of the 3 times. And vowing to attain an awakening in a female body, she attained enlightenment, and then she acted to benefit sentient beings and assist the Buddhas of the 3 times. And so that is also why she is regarded as so precious. So her Dharmakaya aspect is the Dharmakaya, the great mother Dharmakaya. The Sambhogakaya is Vajrayogini. But that doesn't mean that she appears just as this one, that she is just this one entity, this one solid entity. Tara appears in many millions of ways. In however many ways there are sentient beings. However many sentient beings there are as many Taras. And that's also why often the Tara practice is preferred. It is a very simple practice to engage in.
상기의 용띠들이 사지 것은 요래지. 디 싸우 하고는들이 사지 것을 가는 상지는 이진 상승처는 세배 강에 잡도 지고는 자로 너도들나 대심지래 잡도 잠시 사제래 자로 너도의 셔서들이 잡도 쳐대 장롱 가까이 오 말이 대 너도 저기 나디기 차오 나디면은 이 나기 님에와 셈데 대는들이 롱거다 쭉 장매 봐요 대 가리게 연구요래 되는 근데 잡으나 로데 찍어 봐서 요 말이지 얘는 로고 때까지 들이 드림에 나서 막 갈아서 로고서 가사카 찾는 로고 찾는 로고시 봐대 찍어 봐래 되는 들이 심지 선들 피바대 되지 산지시 봐대 샘다 로요 찍어 봐래 들이 가와는 로 어떻게 찾는 되는 데들이 고대 띠용 상처를 찾고 죽게 니들이 울음 참치 이거 잡토고요 말 잘로 너도 잡토고요 말 고쳐이나 너도 그런 걸로 되겠다고 잘로 또 약이요래 나중에 메이송들이 잡치쳐대 저버들 사제를 죽고 용어 되지 죽고 오늘 찍바래 잠도 저간에 살로 걸어서 찍바래 하고 오 딸롱거다 뚜거다 다음에 바래 대형들이랑 사축색냠도 요도 사제시 봐 이핑을 올렸으면 이핑을 놓는데 사제를 제가 차야 되리송 대하고는 들이 왕것도 다 하고 사와리 들이랑은 들이 아다 이담 참아라 대봐요 되는 애들이 로만을 제가 치고를 들이랑 소통 예자를 로만하지 시요래 대양자시고 말이 들이 락바들이 랑게디 예트 로만 참아 파 라지 곰들이 거대 제기요래 대소선냐 명요래 이제 들이 로지셀로
And so a quality of the Buddhas is that the Buddhas possess the 3 kayas, and that also we need to understand clearly. So Buddha means Sangye in Tibetan, and Sang is to clear away. And what is cleared away is dualistic grasping. The outer example is like a vast ocean, and then you have ice blocks floating in the ocean. And those ice blocks are like the sentient beings. And the Buddhas are this vast ocean. And when the ice block melts, then it merges to be one with the ocean. Then there is no more separation. So that ice block is solid due to self-grasping. And when there is no more self-grasping, then all dualistic perception of self and other falls apart and the ice block has melted. And so then there are, this is like the Dharmakaya, and then there are limitless emanations of the Sambhogakaya and the Nirmanakaya. And for example, it is just like in this world you have light. There's really only one light. There's really no separation. But then light energy performs different activities. So it produces light like in lamps, or we can use this energy to make food and so on. So it's this power, this light that powers everything in this world. And that is the same, no matter what it is used for. And so likewise, the mind is the same. And the mind of all the deities, of those Nirmanakayas and Sambhogakayas, is a mind of bodhicitta wishing to benefit all sentient beings. So this light energy is all pervasive. And similarly, the Dharmakaya pervades the entire inanimate universe and all animate sentient beings. So if there is a dualistic perception of self and other, then one cannot pervade. Then one has frozen into this solid ice block. One has solidified into this small entity that is the ice block. And an ice block has no capacity to pervade because it's solid. And then ice blocks, as they float on the ocean, they constantly bump into each other and there is suffering. So that is because of self-grasping. And when there is no more self-grasping, it melts and then there's only this one vast ocean. And that is like the quality of the Dharmakaya. That is the nature of all the Buddhas. And the water, wherever you go, east or west, is everywhere it's the same. There is no delineation, no separation in the water. So when you realize that, you can also understand how these limitless Sambhogakayas and Nirmanakayas then appear. They appear as a manifestation of bodhicitta. And because that is their nature, if we cultivate altruism, that is the way for us to connect to the Buddhas. So if you understand this point, then you really have understood the meaning of the empowerment. And so now, personally, actually, I myself have a lot of faith in all of the Yidam deities, but among them, I have a very special connection to Tara. Tara, for example, saved my life 8 times already. And many of my senior disciples know about that, so I won't mention it again. But that is also why I tell people, practice Tara, practice just this one deity. And here I'm just speaking from experience. So next we will read the history of the empowerment. So the history of White Tara may the dual purpose of others and oneself be brought to ultimate completion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, attain the state of Buddhahood. Thus cultivate the mind set on enlightenment with the aspiration to engage in practice after having received the empowerment of immortality and longevity. Listen properly to the words and the meaning of those teachings. The human body, endowed with freedoms and advantages, is the ship that transcends the ocean of samsara by accumulating merit and wisdom, which is the basis for attaining the state of perfect Buddhahood. Engaging in the Bodhisattva's conduct says, supported by the ship of the human body, you can transcend the great ocean of suffering. As it is difficult to obtain this vessel again, do not waste your time in dull laziness. Lobeng Ngawang Dragpa said, those who practice the Dharma and subdue their afflictions will gather accumulations such as merit for as long as they dwell within samsara, and ultimately will attain perfect enlightenment. Every being that has ever existed in samsara cherishes nothing more than one's own life. Therefore, quickly and continuously perform various means to cheat death. Accordingly, one should apply oneself in methods to prolong lifespan. While there are many instructions in the different classes of Tantra, these teachings expand lifespan by relying on the ripening and liberating instructions of the Bhagavati White Tara. Having given rise to the mindset on supreme enlightenment countless aeons in the past, she practiced the bodhisattva conduct perfectly. Finally, she was born in the universe called Myriad Light as a girl named Yeshedawa, the daughter of a great king. After serving the Buddha Ngadam of this age with great devotion for a long time, she realized the unborn nature of phenomena. At that time, she promised not to attain enlightenment in a male, but rather in a female body, since many males but no females have accomplished the purpose of sentient beings thus far. Having achieved perfect enlightenment in a female body, the Bhagavati became renowned as the noble Lady Tara. She is glorified by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, such as the perfectly complete Buddha Vairocana, who composed the praise called Homage to the 21 Taras. According to the diverse mental capacities of those to be tamed, in the numerous classes of Tantra, there exist many sadhanas containing various aspects of Tara, with different body colors, numbers of faces and arms, and so forth. The instructions of this sadhana were transmitted through great masters such as the noble Nagarjuna, who beheld Tara directly. In Varanasi, in the noble land of India, there lived the great scholar Ngawang Wangchukdapa, who was one of the gatekeepers of Vikramalashila's 6 gates. He practiced Chaitantara for 6 months, and finally she directly revealed her face to him and granted him instructions and empowerment, whereupon he composed a commentary, elaboration on the cheating of death, which contains the sadhana, the wish-fulfilling, life-granting wheel of noble Tara. The benefits of visualizing her form and her wheel are as follows. The Indian longer scriptures say, Brahma, Vishnu, the sun and moon, the fierce guardians of the directions, and the desire gods cannot cause even the hair tips of the Lord of Death to rise, but Lady Tara conquers even him. Your hair will not grow white, and wrinkles will not appear. Illness, poverty, the 8 fears, such as the fear caused by lions, and all suffering will be completely pacified. You will naturally find clothing, pleasant dwelling places, and precious objects. You will attain the city of the sword, the city of clairvoyant sight, the city of swift-footedness, and the ways of prosperity. Your voice will be sweet, and you will speak eloquently. Your mind will be sharp, and your wisdom pristine. Tara's wheel will manifest whatever you desire. The shorter Indian scriptures say, the one who meditates on Tara's wheel for 6 months will certainly attain all accomplishments and will not be defiled by the flaws of death.
Beda Sato Samaya Mane Palaya Beda Sato Dino Titane Dobe Baba Sadakayo Be Baba Sabakayo Be Baba Anarato Me Baba Sarva Siddhe Me Pajesa Sava Kama Sata Tatam Shiyam Guru Hong Har Har Ho Bangai Sava Tata Gata Beda Mame Musa Beda Mo Samaya Sato Sava Tata Gata Beka Mo Samaya Shiraya Ma Belgidara Mo Sava Yara Sava Shada Juan Tomagano Omnisor Bochi Hu Jachawan Oma Hong Suara Tomata Jatova Deva Nabutada Nyaba Makar Mokoso Domana de Doma Sova Mazovata Ganawa Loekadam Sabara Sabara no Mazovata Ganawa Loganoma Sabara Sabara no Mazovata Ganawa 오면 선바라 뭐 저대대대 이거를 지망로 삼사로 어디 저거 저기도 말하던더라도 이거 건전매라던더라도 이거 탑재 정도 저러라 정도로 광주 저 오늘 다저다도 이제 샘진 남바다서 다 중요한 거 손에다 대하더라 또 만나 도와줘라 어디 저 뭐에 주바대 그들 너버서 마셔와서 샘진 나라 편별 샘들에서 이제 개발이 지지지들어 지지저도 여다들어도 오거나 결혼 경태에 가져야지 전혀 뭐 가야면 소소라고 저는 나를 빼로 이제는 너바마 제종 제보 저거 가다 오라고 말을 내다도 소들 노조랑 그네서 더 아버다다다는 게 너무 습관으로도 말아 홍조하나 봐야라 알아야 호박아 배 이런 거리 와서 저거 라르게 성원님 먹어서 사르싱 바 소아다 당신이 뜬 도지 도지 거나 생각을 나도 오서지 도지다 절로져서 사는지 도지 잡아시 못했다가 보다는 도지 나에 잡아 서로 도지 나와 때 서로도 시집에 공 별섬이만 봐줬던 별섬이 봤던 뭐 찍던 봐준 거 어서 그런 이제 자식 와요 뭐들 배다 뭐 배다 아까라 배다나 배다나 전화로 좀 배다나 안나가 홍 들이 남파다니 샘지들의 샘지 덕에 고발을 참고 나지리 그리고 나중에 이보다 메라버 거래 들 메라로 세 메라지 단조지들 장미 바리 대삼이 세지 감성 세지 나중에 장미 바리 대삼지가 나중에 것이 냠도 거들 라가 나중에 쭉 바리 대버버서 세 메라지 너지 장미 바 나는 메라라고 뭐 다다 정말 보통 초마다도 미치게 강는 누가 가리는 게 대삼지 사마지 나다 정말 참지 고쳐서로 야 버려요 사. 내 단지가 이 버티 메라버 거래지.
So samsaric sentient beings that are limitless as the sky, they wander in samsaram because they are grasping at a self. And the antidote to this belief in a self is to offer a mandala. And there is first the outer mandala. And so now here we bring to mind there is this universe that is limitless. And then likewise sentient beings within the limitless universes are also limitless. And they all grasp at a self. And that self-grasping is the same as your own self-grasping. So you think that you're gathering all of that self-grasping and you're offering it up along with the entire limitless universe. So that's the outer mandala offering. And then the inner mandala is that you bring to mind all of those people and things in your life that you actually personally cling to claim to be yours, like your child or your husband and wife, your family, anything in this life that you're holding on to be yours. That is what you're offering up to the three jewels. So the mandala is an antidote to self-grasping, and that is why we must offer a mandala.
Just the you need the blue, sorry. You lost
나다 매년 버버 값들이 근데나 샤모고 죽고체 그러잖아. 랑 라마 기위신 강그 도도 취셔 왕전아 드리세 매년 버버 값에 기위신이 되라. 뒤숨지 사지 삼지 고조섬 사교오 대하고 그래. 꼭 견두는 뒤숨지 견두인상 송탐출 된바니 잠시 송탐출 뒤숨지 사지 송창 독특한 것으로 답기라 삼바체미 바이어레 산지 삼지 독 삼바체미 바다 여신이 제발 요 말이 디설들이 차비 성리 저것이 내 주스 레사 다 산지 삼지 고조섬 되오사메라퍼는 베스는 자주보시 장미 바로 사지 장미 바로 풀바는 게들이 수남 저렇고요 하적 기초고요
So when you're offering a mandala, then Rinpoche said I'm wearing this fancy hat, and so you might wonder why. And so that the reason is because whenever you receive a teaching from a guru, or you offer a mandala, or receive an empowerment, then you offer a mandala. At that moment, when you receive this dharma from the teacher, that teacher really represents the Buddhas of the 3 times, the 3 jewels of the 3 times. So the teacher's body represents the Sangha of the 3 times, and the teacher's speech represents the Dharma, the twofold truth as taught by all the Buddhas of the 3 times. And the teacher's mind is a mind of immeasurable love. And that immeasurable love is also the mind of all the Buddhas. So now sitting here with this hat, I represent all of those Buddhas of the 3 times. And from your perspective, when you see me with the hat, then you also think that, oh, he represents the 3 jewels. Here are the 3 jewels to whom I'm offering the mandala. And now if you see it in this way and you're offering a mandala, then it is actually the same as offering it to all the limitless Buddhas. And the merit becomes vast like that. So that is why the mandala offering is also so important.
당보라니 나라니 이시제거래 나는 이시제보제요래 배 강례전들이 내다다 왕갑 납주바 셔사디 라마데들이 랍치는 보시 아크레 공뽕나리甚至그 공나다 라마짜치 보내나 봉불라마 제모다오르데 세바 가시시라요 말이 내가들 보고 공 대박 가요 공아 제와치 볼 가요 니바 마보때 들랑 빠라나기 가요를 대바사는 좋으시요 말이에요. 그래서 다다 왕들라 마치는 도업사는 람상들이 곰마고 왔더니 공 사용물이 문의자네들이 다 사지에 송도 체매바지 왕금을 라마상지 자치 모임바 사지에 상지 되바다라도 사용물이 때나가 트렌치소라 시바이듯이 하가 스킬 라비오 말이 등이 치소 하지 정말 대바치 보요래 대콜 라마 참을 때봐 요시와 차거래 하자 같이 보래지.
So now when I'm like giving you all these explanations and so on, what's important is also that now, even though you know all of that, it's also important that you really also trust, and the trust arises in you. And so for there to be trust within you, first of all, I myself need to trust, and I really actually do in what I'm just saying, because now this specific empowerment, for example, coming from the 50 Jigong Kagyu empowerments, now these empowerments of the 50 Jigong Kagyu empowerments I've actually first received from the uncle of Lamchen Gyalpo Rinpoche, and at that time I was very, very young, and he was actually a very precious Lama, but no one really actually regarded him as that, and he was more seen as very like simple, and nobody really had a lot of faith in him. And when I was a little boy, I also didn't really have so much devotion, but I didn't know how to place my devotion, but I really liked him very much because he was very nice to me, and he always gave me little gifts and so on. So I really sort of saw him like a father that I just liked very much. And so he gave me that empowerment, and now when I'm giving the empowerment, instantly, without even having to think about it or meditate on it, just naturally he appears in my mind, and that is really, it shows the authenticity of the Buddha's words. Now that is why this empowerment, or any empowerment, is so precious, and that is really a sign that whoever gives you the empowerment really is the embodiment of all those Buddhas of the 3 times. For example, he appears in my mind just like that, even though no one actually regarded him much at that time. So that's actually like a piece of history that I have never actually shared with anyone before, but I'm sharing it today with you because you do have a lot of devotion. And actually, if you understand this point, actually, this little story, the point of this story, then you will also really understand or know how to place your faith really into any guru.
denzi laya chepa me ba chekore desa sana ti ti so wa ta ko yo sa tani jidu che gore jidu ka chembore wang ne di jidu ka me to gore wang di dong shi le de wang dong ju le ji to ba yin song ji ji song ge dali ba ba go to jo je se yo wang li chi wa wang de dong shi de den na go wang li lap song a de yi li po ya le wang kan shi ne pe di ba chembore le.
And so then whatever empowerment you are receiving, you are visualizing that principal deity in the center of in space before you, and then think that this deity is surrounded by all the Buddhas of the 3 times, and that they all are inseparable from that deity. And then you think that in their presence I am offering my supplications. So those supplications we then need to repeat. And these applications are actually very important because it is through understanding the meaning of these supplications that we actually receive the empowerment. So it's very important that we do understand the meaning. Chigden Somgen also had said that it is only when the meaning of the empowerment arises in your mind stream that you actually receive the empowerment. Or as you mentioned before, having the vase placed onto your crown is just the outer empowerment. But the actual empowerment really is to understand the meaning of the empowerment. And if you understand the meaning of the empowerment, then no matter which empowerment you receive, the power really will be great.
Uniti ngake chita ko yo mari teni ena ge sama ko yo le teni saje tham je chang tho go yo ma chite nga ena de chopa le ngake byon do ne 1 minute saje tham je ta por sinji tham je samhi je chogo ge junchi so deba yon tera wan ko yore deba mina wan ko yore te deba mi bara ko wan ko na min to ko yome kasum dino tini amag oma kana ro ko mari deba me tan ne ba chung ko ma do 사지 새끼 탐지를 junchi 보 wan ko yore te.
And so then, now receiving an empowerment is really very meaningful. But then you might think that I'm receiving this empowerment from Rinpoche. And actually, for example, it is like that. I don't know the language that you understand. So, because I don't know the language, I have Ina here who understands the language and who translates it for you. And so similarly, you can't see the Buddhas who are here. So I'm like Ina to the Buddhas. So I'm translating what the Buddhas say to you, and then she translated that to you too. So actually, the Buddhas abiding in space, they always confer empowerment to all beings. They're always continuously there, holding all beings with great love. And whoever has faith in them, they really receive the empowerment. But even if one doesn't have faith, they still confer empowerment. It's just that they cannot easily ripen. It's just like a little child, a little baby that has its mouth closed. Then the mother cannot feed it milk. So then the power also will not be so great. But actually, the Buddhas are continuously there conferring empowerment upon sentient beings.
Garchen, Yi Rinpoche, Sibai, Holo, Namjongwa, Teren, Xiebai, Rinpoche, Zowu, Dala, Garchen Zor.
And in English, Master, today, with your kindness, please grant me the precious treasure that is the embodiment of primordial awareness and that purifies the wheel of existence.
Lamadan, the Jija Satonam, the Tong, the Jackson Roger, the Pashabata, give a legislature Ramada, Sancho, the same people, give it all those Sancho, the Hoa, Jin, Jinang, Hundo, Jimja, Namda, Java said the Jiduchi. Or going to Sum La Ba Jam Chi Dek Ba Me Ge So Sha Ro We Ge La Yi Rang Sang Je Zhang Chep Yi Ji Zong Sang Je Chu Zang Chom Chola, Jiang Chep, Parthe, Da Jiam Chi, Rang Yi, Dong Yi, Rab Drab Ser, Jiang Chep, Sem Ne, Ji Bar Je, Jiang Chep, Cho Ke, Sem Ne, Ji Ji Ne, Sem Ji, Tamje, Daki, Rungde Nir, Changche, Zhongcho, Yi Hong, Jie Bar Ji, Rola, Pinser, Sangje, Rabbar Cho.
I take refuge in the three jewels and confess all evil and unvirtuous deeds. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings and hold the Buddha's awakening in mind until attaining, awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. I give rise to bodhicitta, having given rise to the mind of supreme awakening. I welcome all sentient beings. I will practice the supreme bodhisattva conduct that is pleasing to all. May I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
semchi samche tak은 로드 열시바데 다왕 토바들이 토고요래 오 내왕 가이가 쇼래고 나기 집디 로만 접게 자 semchi samche 집디 로만은지 다 semchi samche 좁고 선 로트들이 다 요 말이 semchi samche 상태로 왕 토망은 애들이 토고 그래 내가 사가 샘종네 내가 사가 루제는 내가 사가 맹마 다这就是颠簸差距切的贵王的성공地方往那里逃过了你甚至呢甚至这比这种人你苹果上面落这个地方往当不逃过来的
So here we just said, I welcome all sentient beings. And it is from this state of mind that we actually receive the empowerment in the first and foremost. And so it is because you're thinking that I am going to engage in the practice of Tara in order to protect, liberate sentient beings. And from that intention, that is through that intention, you actually receive the empowerment first. So, and then the other practices that we engage in when we practice the deity are for the sake of not forgetting about the deity. So the deity stays in our mind. And so for that we visualize the form of the deity and we recite the deity's mantra, the name, in order to stabilize the deity's presence in the mind. But through this intention here that wishes to benefit all beings, that welcomes all beings, this is how we actually receive the empowerment.
로쁜 공서솔 달라 제쯤 파마 조르메 고성 독제 기서 나와 잘도솔
Master, please heed me. Please bestow upon me the empowerment of body, speech and mind of the Bhagavati, Lady Tara.
도지 zemba 공서솔 다네 로라 팽동더做亲出了做得及察觉一息记得说
Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. I supplicate you who possess great kindness, please cause the mudra of wisdom to arise.
나들이 당서사 공부 가르더니 다리 심지는 핑고 서비 로디 끼마 사제더니 샘들하고 샘들 이게 땀값을 로그지바나 이 저성 다들이 샘제지들이 그냥 감대야 가능하게들이 들 목항을 줌에 따라들이 땀들 특히 곰 대고 그랬지.
And so then, before we visualize the deity, now first you have this wish to benefit all sentient beings. And then when that wish is there, then instantly think that this mind transforms into white syllable Dham that is brilliant like light, and you focus on that single-pointedly. You visualizing it either in your heart or your navel, and just think that there is this brilliant white Dham that is like a luminous lamp.
Lordji jimbo zhogo yo ba ye chou bin dang yung wo ba le nba zheng ge da wa xie de ga ba da le mo ye ji na zhou ba jian ba zhe lu bu lang zuo ji sang ji shou ji ji wei da ni jin de sa wa yo de de sa wa zhou ong ge mo liu a mo bo de wa hong bo de liao zhen zhi bei我就拿做帮助呗，让你觉得那我把他这位其实不错，你在那等着把他经营的那东西那看完不把他，是承包的就不没帮助，我们二两的人讲了，二位想要呀，当然讲了，二位想我当怎么样做？生活不习惯，你咱从马上就把怎么样？这把是没办法，这把就一张白子，这里这个所有的国内就是这么真的呢，这里哪的各种土是上这个人就是七八八的，你就他们这里把我个人，哪怕看完嘞，让就我们吧，这就是我的他们这里，七八东西七八八。把这别这么样的，别这上这里，他们上这意思大没写的这里可怕的了，就蓝色的哦，就这罗曼的，这没怎么样当样的这什么想呢？这这人个往头马的，这家里人没怎么吃的吧？这里小娃的那个这里阿妈那些这里，但上个马里叫的啥话嘞？那就要吃了汤些人啊，做不了嘞。甚至他们这个阿玛里是这样的，是这样讲过来，一起讲过来。
So you focus single-pointedly on the Dham syllable, the life force syllable of the deity, and then you bring to mind Tara and think that you're receiving her blessings of body, speech, and mind that all have the nature of great love. And then these blessings descend down like rain falling down and permeate the entire universe and all sentient beings. And actually these blessings always fill up the entire space and dissolve into all beings in the universe, not just oneself. And so now think that their blessings then dissolve, and it's just like when it's very hot and it rains, there's a cool rain falling down, it's a very pleasant feeling. So just like that, the blessings dissolve into you, and so you're having your eyes closed the whole time. And then when you are asked to open your eyes later, then at once look at the picture of the deity that you have received and recognize this is Tara. And then again, you close your eyes and have that image of Tara appear in your mind again and again. So this is how you actually first begin with the development stage, the visualization of the deity. So you habituate to that, looking at the picture, closing your eyes, having the image appear, And later, the moment you close your eyes, the image already will appear. And what appears, this image of Tara that appears, you should see her just like your mother, actually even greater than your mother, because she really is your protector in all future lifetimes. She is like the mother of all sentient beings. So thinking in this way again and again, it's important to develop trust.
on bedan gende rada da so on bedan nege bada za zo wa do ye ji ya da ya la ro jo ya da wa ge de ne ya这个这浪的了这了些是我就说话的吧，讲话这个我嘛这个有什么弄这有我就是把这家的热里，什么弄就给这个说了就是叫什么，我也不知道不忙就说不对手都在这把这老子把这个我也没得我老子把钱没就不我老有的就了去，这句就讲我就是有我这说嘛了，我个没得我多些钱包呢，还真不要啥这个啥些工作上真。那里说话就把说我们说话的当把他那边给个的什么呀些也我们说的当那边给个什么呀些也哦你看的你拿不了他们这的就这种长尾巴的老家把人家长尾巴个不怕送的甚至个长到家把的然后往过去哟这道光过来
So then, now when the empowerment deity is abiding in space, confer the empowerment. So first you have these limitless Taras, and then you have the 5 Dhyani Buddhas holding the empowerment vasas and conferring the empowerment. You should think that there are as many deities as there are sentient beings holding these vasas, and they confer the empowerment upon all sentient beings. So you shouldn't just think that the empowerment is only conferred onto your crown when the vase is placed onto your crown.
좀 적게 나가 강화되려 좋고요. 라이히바들이 로직 토마토마 로직 되는 사이클 메리살은 전선의 용도선 정통 차거지 메리살에 대다를 최종 망이 바래 라이히바 대다를 싸운 거래 노도직 상하여 말해.
And so about the visualization, the development stage of the deity, there is one really important point to be made, and that is that the deity in general appears in many different ways. So when you visualize Tara, for example, sometimes she appears very small, maybe just the size of a mustard seed. But she can also appear very large, filling up the entire space. And that is because the deity is a wisdom being and can appear in myriads of ways. So one taste appears in myriads of ways, and myriads of ways or diversity has one taste. So when you close your eyes, sometimes she appears very small, like a mustard seed, and sometimes very large. And whatever appears, that is the actual deity. So the point is that the size, for example, is uncertain, and you shouldn't think that the deity is this one solid entity.
Roma Papa Pagano, Tammy Bazo, Opodon, the Jaro, the Yomo, Tomato, Saji Pima Jibandam, the Jinga, and the Tashitambo, as you put them to with the Teta Jesus, Name, Rigio Goni, Sapotama, Pachat, and Dinda Chibata. Koi Jesus, Maliba, top, Lisa, Kiran, Naton, so Dugraman, one. And they were took a top of Kabach in the say by your nose.
Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the body, and all grasping at them are purified. You have received the complete form empowerment. You are now empowered to practice the stages of development, of visualizing your body as the deity, the union of appearance and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Nirmanakaya.
So good, you know, to so other band, Doji, Zamba, Gong, so, Dane, Rola, Pendon, Maji, Wang girl, Ishi Che, Murta, Derva, Da La To.
Then in order to receive the speech empowerment, please repeat. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Please grant me the great wisdom of the mantra empowerment, which is the source of all accomplishments.
Oh, I need so much symbol. I get one good issue, good up there about all the love your head. I don't want good in the issue, you know, same song was over Tagres. I got the quantity. Move drop the flag, Musitari, Tata Lamse Chakri. The Masano Chakraman, say with Jesus Lard over young Dean. There is somewhat in the Nadi Tampum, Tagare, Nipa, Nini, Dupa, Duchinizi. Rumba, just a flat so. You came me by Char, I called the government to the side of tree, then I called the donor, had the scene said over it, fly Sarchuk Center. There is the Margaret so Char, the Kadu train a lam, sharing char, drinking bad. The reading Hagan Colo gum, drinking Hagan gum, to the Hagan Colo to me. The same pa. 조금 코르트바 곰 너무 갈래 코르트니 하장 조금 코르트바 곰 터거리 깝더니 라카카리요 말이 그 마지 홀로나데 코드들이 샘나나 사서 있어배 받자고요래 내가 네발지 바지 들이 이제서더니 다 오하고 저도 지금 코드에 초반하는 게 있으니 종종 사용하더니 깝더니 어제 또 곰네 다 지금 어제 또 되거든요 대바다 힘기니 어떻게 요래 사족성을 상속세주가 삼재리 아 현고만은 삼재용은 대바리 현고만은 희기용 때 삼재 삼재의 말씀 희기는 저러고 야소 대바는 저러고 그랬더니 왜저 조지 지내더니 삼재의 촉라서는 초반은 저러고 현탐체들이 장미반 초밥하고 저 로아도 생기 탐체 장도 잡아가더니 옆에 좀에 생기 탐체 로바체요 삼재는 근데 저들은 로바 가리는 거 제거래 다다 무슨 가시에 보고병아 보고 올랐고요. 로마 통도도 지금 통도는 근데 로마로 써왔다는 것들이 보고 때기요. 무슨 대리 쪽으로 이치요. 이다야 이치만 거서 오 로마 또는 로마 또 지금은 또 보고 때기도 때니 보고 방법 돼요. 그래서 로마로 써왔다 보고 온 거래. 뺏었다래. 돈다 무슨 적거나 되니 막은 적거래. 막들이 같이 약속을 저기 쫓아오는 저기 말이 주체에 semmi 제야면 봐 차빠더니 간동고요래 가데 매니주 바다를 하지면 별도 보는 뒤매니주 가봐다나 뒤 봐서 저와 차고요래 뒤가 하자 가르쳐 버려 마 로다들이 다타고 온다리 뒤사리 소리 소와다리 뒤사리 소와서 데 로라 이렇게 조호라 팽기 요래 공고주를 찌고를 짜사마 고조작을 폭신나다 다로래 비바치보 요래
So there's also one important point here. And so you just repeated the great wisdom of the mantra empowerment. So that is this great wisdom of the mantra empowerment is that the visualization of the mantra garland and the mantra recitation is the method to purify the mind. So great wisdom, awareness expands. And now we visualize the deity. Sometimes the mind is clear and the deity appears in an instant. And then sometimes we forget about it. When the mind is unclear, then the deity does not clearly appear in the mind. And in order to familiarize ourselves with the deity, so we don't forget about the deity, so it never leaves our mind, is the mantra recitation, for which we are prescribed a certain number, like 100 of 1,000 and so on, a large number of mantras to be recited. And so what actually must happen while we recite those mantras is that we must familiarize ourselves with the deity, so it always remains in our mind. So it becomes increasingly clear. And that's the purpose of the practice of the 4 branches of approach and accomplishment. So we have first the approach, then the close approach, then accomplishment, then great accomplishment. And as we engage in the practice of the deity, we naturally progress through these 4 levels of practice as the mind becomes increasingly clear and the deity remains with increasing clarity and stability within our mind. So as we habituate ourselves to the deity practice, we are merging our mind, like mingling our mind with the deity's bodhicitta mind, until it remains firmly and clearly within our mind. And then whenever you think of the deity, it's already there. And so there's 4 steps that we go through as the mind becomes increasingly clear. And then the first of that is the approach, where we first begin to visualize the mantra garland. We first familiarize ourselves with the deity. So you visualize the mantra garland. And that becomes very clear. And then when that's clear, then you progress to the close approach, where this mantra garland then begins to turn. First it turns very slowly, and then it accelerates, and it becomes very fast, extremely fast. And it turns continuously, all the time it turns. And so the mind stays there with this turning, indivisibly from that mantra garland that is turning continuously, unceasingly. And also this mantra garland in essence is not separate from the deity itself. So the mantra garland spins quickly, and when that becomes stable, then that moves on to the 3rd stage, which is the accomplishment. And so then from this quickly turning mantra garland, then so there's this feeling first that arises. And when that feeling arises, then you are at the 3rd step of accomplishment. And so the feeling that arises is that because you have so much habituated to the circulating mantra garland, that it's almost like you have a feeling, you can feel it turn within you. And so that's the point of the accomplishment then. And so at this point, when you can feel the mantra turning unceasingly within you, that is where then the mantra garland gives off light rays and gathers those back. And the nature of these light rays is that they are light rays of bodhicitta and basically love. They are light rays of love, and when they shine to reach those higher beings, the Buddhas, then these light rays of love become light rays of faith or devotion. And then when they reach sentient beings, when they pervade sentient beings, then these light rays of love become light rays of compassion. And so then when those light rays of devotion then pervade the Buddhas, then they turn into offerings made to those Buddhas in the limitless Buddha fields. And then when those light rays of compassion pervade sentient beings, then they turn, the beings in the 6 realms of samsara, then they turn into, for example, in this context, taras, who appear in as many forms as there are sentient beings in the 6 realms to help them with whatever they need or desire. For example, if one desires a child, then Tara bestows them a child. And for example, many times people come and request me, they say that they really want to have children, and then I tell them, practice Tara, and I give them those blessing pills, and many of them really actually had a child then. And even though they don't really trust in much else, that's really what they then trust in, because children are actually born then. So actually, in a sense, I gave them a lot of children. I gave many people lots of children already. And so if you supplicate to Tara, then really she can give you a child. And so basically, whatever you want to accomplish, you call out to Tara, and that's why we recite the mantra. And so sometimes people then ask, how many mantras do I have to recite for that? How about 10 or maybe 100? So that's not the right way to approach that. It's not about the numbers of mantras, but actually you have to recite the mantra continuously all the time until the deity always remains in your mind and never leaves your mind. So that's the real purpose of the mantra recitation. It's just like you're calling a friend. When you're calling a friend on the phone, you're calling them to make a connection to them. So you're calling the deity to make a connection, so it always stays with you. So the mantra recitation is very important. And when you recite the mantra, it's also important to recite the mantra very clearly. So to say each syllable, you announce it very clearly. Om tare tu ture soha, and so on. So you say the syllables clearly. And by doing that, actually, another benefit is that you're moving your tongue. When you're moving your tongue, that's good for your whole body, especially your stomach, actually. It can cure a lot of stomach-related diseases or illnesses. So mantra recitation is very important.
Dada nga jidu che nga ke nga lo ombo kamni teni nga khani teni yingdo re la uju kongbon denang ni yingdo yo ba chasari teni yingdo yonggo yo re de hamchen teni choso ge jidu che go me re ge teni nga charchi top song de nga charchi top song de teni tam go tar chakori yo sa teni de nga ma bo de nan ko ka ko ra ja ke yo sa teni nga mo pa te kongo re de.
So then next we come to repeating the mantra syllables, and so for that you visualize that then from Rinpoche's mouth then emerge the mantra syllables, and then like a chain, a garland of light, and many of them, and then this mantra garland then as you repeat it then enters your mouth and then goes down to the Dham syllable that you have visualized and then begins to circle around the Dham syllable. So then think that each of you has received one mantra garland that then always continues to circle around the Dham syllable.
로봉 저 저간 컨트롤 상호도 저 발에 마음에 저 이시저는 컨트롤 상호도 좋아서 지난 남들 샤르데 경항도 상호도 저 와서도 철래 쳐져 봐서 선배 왜 나지만 와대 이제 옴다리 뜨다리 뜨레 소하 옴다리 뜨다리 뜨레 마마 아열, 자나, 뽕네, 뽀좀, Guru, Soha, Jondin, Dala, Zalaji, Dala, Gowar, Zed Sor.
Conqueror, as I have become your disciple, please take me under your care.
좀 된다라다라자 달랑고와 다다다 하정거다 달래잖아 또 욕지 말대도 전에서 말대도 어저자대자베다야서 와지 예와지 배처럼 매요 왕지 됐으면 다잘하다 매요 봐 주저도 뭐 제가 남는 지원들은 이거 다시 집어오다 접선도 보더래요 대자 기서 나행 아그 고니 사베 점마 바차테 디서 집었다 송이 기서 나와 말이바 톱 라이 상하 작동 송조그 봐 고말라 와 다와라 와 내가 롱거도 바까바치서 세바에 노스.
Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the speech, and all grasping at them are purified. You have received the complete speech empowerment. You are now empowered to recite the deity's secret mantra, the union of sound and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Sambhogakaya.
Udubde chipaso, udubde tininagan tre kare dabuna ngalo as a topic of the top yore. Subaranga, chupar shipazi. The hard dinner was there to the tapashing handsome chupa per that. Druma Sayamo chupa per. Japan, the Jones shipazi, 16 years of yellow was there to the hard day, Hakorti. Hato chukchibot, nobody took one of you quarters, the Magaranta, theatre of Gondina. There is several Kawati, so low than a cast in a tree. Sanji, simply the Kariki check here, the Parishipa, the Jones Shipati. The house loves such about Jamie by dinner, there is also Media by Chai or Yore, the Tamboha, Larishipa, the ring heart Shuparishipa, not the Jones Shipa, simply to buy Joma. The ring heart would do the Shipa, the round to the say by year, the Chinatini. This hako pimpa chimpo yoreti.
So actually it is taught that the mantra itself, the mantra Garland, the recitation of a mantra has a lot of benefits, and in general there are 9 qualities that a mantra has, but for us it is sufficient if we just understand 3 or 4 of them. And so the first one is that the mantra represents the deity itself. So with each mantra recitation, you are creating the deity. And the second quality is that the mantra also is the siddhi or the attainment. And that is through the mantra, any activity can be accomplished. Any siddhi can be attained. And the third quality is the mantra also represents an offering. So as you recite mantra and you visualize the mantra garland and you have the light rays radiating and reabsorbing, you visualize that from each of these light rays, millions of taras appear and they make offerings to all the Buddhas. So it becomes an offering. And another quality is that the light rays also become a purification of the obscurations of sentient beings. So as the light rays shine out and pervade beings, they are purified of obscurations. And so the mantra that is turning, the mantra garland that is turning, is just like the engine of an airplane, like a jet plane, where the engine is spinning very fast, and so fast that it gives off a natural sound. So that's the sound, the self-resounding sound of the mantra that is there continuously, just like light. It's always there. And it always radiates out and always makes offerings to the Buddhas and purifies the obscurations of sentient beings. And so then also the mantra also represents this unceasing blessing. When you continue to recite mantra, then you will never separate from the deity. You never forget about the deity. So you're always imbued with the blessings of the deity. So these are the benefits of the mantra. The mantra is the deity. It is an offering. It is the attainment of siddhi, a purification of obscurations, and an accomplishment of activities, and so on. And so when you practice the deity, the form of the deity appears clearly in your mind, and with your speech you recite the mantra. And the purpose of such practice, as a result of such practice, what is attained is that when you always clearly visualize the form of the deity, all appearances are realized as empty of self-nature. And when you recite the deity's mantra, all sounds are realized of empty of self-nature. And so when you always visualize your own form, your body in the form of the deity, then how you purify the physical obscurations is that by visualizing the deity, you are simply forgetting about your ordinary body, and you become the deity. And in fact, your ordinary body is just like an illusion. It is a compounded phenomenon and therefore impermanent by nature. And then if you recognize that through the deity yoga practice, then just naturally you will gradually become free of various fixations regarding form in your mind. For example, the fixation to what is an attractive form or what is an unattractive form and so forth. Everything becomes sort of equal, and the fixation to any kind of form diminishes through habituating to the form of the deity. And in fact, when these fixations diminish, that's a sign of deity yoga practice. And then for the mantra recitation, when you recite the mantra and you habituate to that, then also your fixation to the sounds perceived will diminish. And then, for example, when you hear someone saying something nice or praising you, you will not be so happy about it or like to hear that. And when somebody is saying something very unpleasant or is scolding you or insulting you and so on, then you will not get angry, or you will feel no sense of dislike at all. No matter what you hear, you will just feel sort of let them say whatever they want to say. There is just no fixation in your mind to it at all. And so that is the quality of mantra recitation. A sign of mantra recitation is that then naturally all grasping at perceived sound diminishes. It all falls apart. And so that is what we then call to realize appearances as empty and to realize sound as empty. And so these are the qualities arising from visualizing the form of the deity and reciting the mantra.
Bawo, Doji, Lopungchi, Lomcho, Dengzin, Jesus.
And then in order to receive the mind empowerment, please repeat. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Courageous Vajra master, please cause the samadhi of the Supreme Mind to arise. And so for the mind empowerment, so here, like we mentioned yesterday, the essence of the Buddha is awareness, your mindfulness. So now meditate looking at the nature of your own consciousness. So then in this repetition it says courageous Vajra master. So courageous because now someone who understands the nature of mind knows that the body is just like a used car. We will have to leave it behind. But the mind transcends birth and death. And knowing that there is no fear of death, and that is why courageous. So we, on the other hand, have some fear. So when we understand that, we become free of fear. And then it said here, the samadhi of the Supreme Mind. So this Supreme Mind, the Supreme Mind is the mind of the Buddha. When you understand the mind of the Buddha, you basically realize that your own mind is beyond birth and death. And then this samadhi of the Supreme Mind is that through meditation practice, when you recognize the nature of the mind, you realize that this nature that you see can never cease to be. It's always there. Lord Jigten Sumgön had said, now I have understood, I have realized that the mind itself is the Buddha that I've never separated from. So when you understand that and you know that all beings actually never part from the Buddha, And that Buddha within all beings is nothing else but this consciousness or mindfulness, that this mental presence, that is it. It just needs to be recognized and sustained. So if you know how to do that, then you know meditation. And so if it is not so clear yet, then just keep looking at your own consciousness. For example, also I myself do not fear death. The only thing I fear really is hatred or anger. And this is, by any means, this is one thing I do not want to leave this life with. I don't want to bring hatred with me. Like Milarepa, he had really nothing to be afraid of, but he said that the root of the lower realms is hatred. Therefore, I practice patience even at the cost of my life. So the only thing that he really was afraid of is anger or hatred. So when you hear that and understand that, then it should make you think that, this moment of anger, this is one thing I really should be afraid about. And so if you still think that you have not recognized your consciousness, then now when you hear the ring of the bell, then there is this ding sound that you hear, and in that moment you feel like when you hear ding, then you feel like, oh, I've heard it, I've heard this sound. And the one that is aware of that sound, that is the consciousness to be recognized. So you've heard the ding, and then the moment you knew, I've heard this sound, there's this sound, and then the sound goes away. But then what remains is your consciousness. That doesn't go away. And as the sound goes away and the consciousness does not go away, then all that remains is an empty space that is conscious, that knows. And that always remains. And so this is how you should practice with thoughts. Like the ding, like the ring of the bell, the thoughts go away, but what remains is awareness. Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the mind, and all grasping at them are purified. You have received the complete mind empowerment. You are now empowered to meditate on the nature of the deity's mind, the union of clarity and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Dharmakaya. And then in the end, it is said the life force of the empowerment is to keep the samaya. And the root samaya of the empowerment, as we also mentioned before, actually during the refuge vow, is bodhicitta, it is love. And if you do not have that, if you do not have the root samaya, it is just like you are not pouring water into a tree, then it will dry out. If you develop love, you are holding the most essential samaya. So protect your love with patience. Sustain love and patience as the root samaya. And so first you bring to mind anyone that you love very much, even your cat or your dog, for example, and then you're increasing that love and expanding it to all beings. So then it finally pervades all beings. So that's the root samaya. And then there is different branch samayas for each deity, such as practicing that deity, visualizing the deity, reciting the mantra, and so on. Doing that is, of course, beneficial, but what's most important, really crucial, is the root samaya of bodhicitta. So now for the empowerment, Rinpoche will come down to confer the empowerment, and after you have received the empowerment, you are free to leave and rest, especially since it took a little bit more time. And also for the samaya, we will read the prayer for precious bodhicitta to arise. And we have done many repetitions, many supplications, and maybe some of those words are in a way empty, but this prayer is really most important, because that is what you need to sustain. You must not forget about bodhicitta, and you must sustain it with patience. So please read this prayer in Hebrew, in your own language. And then also today I will offer you a few gifts that are really very precious and that are actually a natural way where you accumulate merit just automatically. And many of you are familiar with that, and also you're actually making these liberation bracelets, for example. So there is this bracelets, is this like wristbands, And then also I'm offering to you the blessing pills. And these blessing pills, we receive them every year from the monastery where they are consecrated. And these blessing pills really are the single medicine that cure hundreds of illnesses. And take one tiny little grain every evening before you go to sleep under your tongue, and then practice the Om Ahung Vajra recitation. Then also you get this sticker, which also contains the liberation by seeing mantra. So I would like to thank you, all my Dharma friends, for making the effort to come here, many of you from far away. But it's really has been a very meaningful gathering. And so now for those liberation methods, again, for example, also the prayer wheel, if you just spin a prayer wheel, that in itself is so beneficial, because whoever sees it or touches your hand, for example, when you spin it, has the seed of liberation planted within them. And what that means is that gradually their self-grasping will diminish and their love will increase. So now next you will receive the blessing of the empowerment, and after you have received that, you're free to leave.
Sanjo Semjo Rinpoche Machi Pana Chi Jerche Chi Ba Nyaba Me Ba Yang Kong Le Kong De Be
עמוד 22. בודיצ'יטה נעלה ויקרה, אם לא נולדה לו תיוולד, זו שנולדה לו לא תדעך, אלא תשגשג ותפרח. בודיצ'יטה נעלה ויקרה, אם לא נולדה לו תיוולד, זו שנולדה לו לא תדעך, אלא תשגשג ותפרח.